here's some quick tips on the Prezis. By now you should have an account. You should have watched the tutorials, so you should have an idea of how to make one. And you would click on New, and you would click a theme or start with a blank theme, no theme at all, and customize it yourself. But the example I'm using, I actually selected one of their pre-made themes. I thought, well, I'd like to show one on goal setting. So there was one that fit my topic, and it was about running, setting goals to run a half marathon. And let's see if this opens. There we are. So again, this is my Prezi. I'm going to go to edit here because as you can see, I have a soundtrack. So I want you to have a few of the features, multimedia features in your Prezi. All of them should have images, motion. You could add a YouTube video, and ideally I'd like to have you add sound in some way. And if you can't create your own voiceovers or sound, there are ways to use soundtracks. On the assignment I've showed some examples. Here's some links to mp3soup.com where you could download soundtracks. But again, keep fair use and copyright in mind. I'm using one of the soundtracks from that site, and I'm claiming fair use. My Prezi will not be public. It's educational to work with you, and it will only be shown in our CCV private Google Plus Hangout. So I'm not concerned that it's violating copyright. And if you keep yours private as well, and it's for this purpose of this class, I don't see a problem with that. But as we've learned earlier, if this were a public one and I were posting it on Facebook or elsewhere, I probably couldn't use the extent of the music that I'm using now. So here again, here's my editor, and each on the left there's the slides that were automatically created for this theme. And I've scrolled in and I've added images and text for each of the major stopping points on this goal setting. And I've adjusted here. If I clicked on edit path, I've adjusted the path a little bit, so it starts with the bigger box, number 1, and then it goes to this little circular frame. And I've added some text in between the major stopping points of the goals, and then I've edited the path so it stops on each one of those texts. Here, let me give an example of how I did that. So here, if I double click, that's where you can add text. So let me add something. This is a way to add it's an object. I can move it by clicking on it. If you just click on it and see the hand, you can move it around. And so now I'm going to edit now. But if I look at the paths, there's nothing stopping there at that object, and I want to make sure it does. So if you find a plus button along the path and you drag it right to the middle of an object, that will create a stopping point in your path. So make sure you have everything in your motion that you want. So that's essentially the path. So I'm going to click on it so it's not editing now. The other piece that I have added is sound. Now I downloaded from that website that's on the link a song that I think fits in this Prezi, but it was too long. So before I added it to here, I opened it in Audacity, which is a sound editing recorder for PC. There may be one for, I'm not sure if you may, in the links I've given you, find one for Macs. But so what I did, I downloaded it, and then I opened the file. Let me see if I go to music. Oh, there it is, music. Here it is, We Are the Champions. And when I opened it, I actually shortened it up. I faded it a little bit. So again, in Audacity, I have already listened to this, so I don't need the end. So I just highlight, hit delete. I'm going to, and it's a little loud. So here I'm going to highlight again, and I'm moving the decibel point down, and then I listen to it. There we go. So I already know that this is what I want, so I'm going to File. I'm going to save the project in case I want to come back and edit the Audacity project in the future. So I'm going to call this 3. But now I need to export it as a sound file. So I'm going to export it after it takes a little while because it's saving the data files. I'm going to export it as an MP3 file. You could export it as a WAV as well. I'll show you. So if I go to File, Export, the options are here. But MP3 is suitable. And again, make sure you have a file name and hit Save. You can give it an author's name and information, but I'm not going to do that. And again, Audacity is a place where you could record your voice as well. We'll show you that in a minute. So here's my sound file that I've downloaded for the background music. So now again, so I can show you, I'm on the first slide and I click on Insert, and I'm going to go, well, I've already added it, but you would click on background music right here, Add Background Music, and it's going to open up a file, and you would click on the file to add. I've already done this, and it will add it to the background. See, I already have one right here, Prezi audio. The other thing, so let's make sure I have it there. Yeah, so it's there. The other thing I've done is added one piece of voice. So if you don't want background music and you just want voice, you need to select an object, and up here Insert, then you would insert a voiceover for that step or that path. Once again, you can make the sound for your voice, record it right here in Audacity. See the red button? This is where you could record some description of your goals, or an example if you're talking about some other topic, then you could record it here. And again, save it in the same way. You could save the project or just export it if you don't think you need to edit it again. Save it in a file, and then when you come to your Prezi, you would add the voiceover for that path. So I'm going to play my presentation and just show you what that sounds like and looks like. Okay, so here we go. So you know there's sound in the background when you have this little icon here and you click play, or you can step through it, right? My goal is to get off the couch, to get healthy, and begin running again. I wanted to run a half marathon. Here's my presentation, and I hope you have as much fun as I did making yours. Let me know if you have any questions.